Hello everyone. Today's we start with the module number 4, the medium access sublayer, lecture number 23. The lecture series computer communication and network. New module start. In this module we discuss about the first concept, that is channel allocation problem. The central theme of this module, how to allocate a single broadcast channel among the competing users. The channel might be the portion of wireless spectrum in geographic region, or a single wire or optical fiber to which the multiple nodes can be connected. It does not matter in both the cases. Channel can be connected each other user or other user and make user who makes the full use of the channel interface. Another user who also wish to use the channel. We first look the shortcomings of static allocation channel scheme. Then we go to a solution to the static channel allocation problem. So today's lecture we discuss about the channel allocation problem. Channel is a medium which transmit the data from transmitter to receiver. So channel may be wireless or wired. If the wireless, then channel is a part of that spectrum. And if the wire, they may be single wire or optical fiber to which the multiple nodes are to be connected. So that is called as a channel. So channel allocation problem we deals in two ways strategically. First is a static channel allocation problem. So we are classified this channel into two class. First one is a static channel allocation, and second one we called as a dynamic channel allocation. So there are the two strategies to solve the channel allocation problem. First one is the static channel allocation problem and second one is a dynamic channel allocation. So first we see what is meant by static channel allocation, and second we see what is meant by dynamic. So first we see static channel allocation. In static channel allocation, it is a traditional way to allocate a particular number of group of channel to a particular user in permanent way. So that is called as a static channel allocation. So here in static channel, the allocation of channel, or we can say that frequency or bandwidth spectrum or particular portion of a spectrum allocate to the user permanent manner. So here is the channel allocation or frequency allocation or portion or part of the bandwidth or spectrum are permanently allocated to the user. That is called as the static channel allocation. So static means permanent. Now such examples of static telephone line, then best example in analog system, static allocation is FDM. FDM stands for frequency division multiplexing. So here the channel allocation properties which will be used in FDM is static. So FDM is a frequency division multiplexing where n number of users, the bandwidth is divided into n equal sides and the portion of each user being assigned to one portion. Since each user has a private frequency band, there is no interface among users. When there is only small and constant number of users, each which has steady stream or heavy load of traffic, this division is simple and efficient allocation mechanism. A wireless example of this static allocation channel is FM. FM is an example of FM radio spectrum. Is an example of your static channel allocation. When the number of senders is large and varying or traffic is bursty, FDM present some problems. If the spectrum is cut up to n regions, the fewer then valuable spectrum is will wasted. So in mostly if the n number of frequency band is cut into sub channels, then allocate a particular number of channels to the user. That time this frequency spectrum is not in use, that time the bandwidth is wasted. So if the traffic is not transmitted means the frequency spectrum or bandwidth is not in use, or bandwidth or channel is not used, then we can say that bandwidth is wasted. So that is one of the drawback. Bandwidth is wasted in static channel allocation strategy. So even number of users could be somehow held constant n dividing single available channel into some number of static sub channels. That is inefficient. So basic problem is some users question their bandwidth simply is lost and they are not going to allow to another static. So static allocation is a poor to fit most computer system. So performance is poor. Performance of static is poorer. Static channel allocation. So this is the one of the drawback of this static channel allocation problem. Then how to resolve this static channel allocation problem? A new method or new channel allocation methodologies will be adopted, that is called as a dynamic channel allocation. So second one will be discussed about the dynamic channel allocation. So second method to solve the channel allocation problem in medium access sublayer, that is the dynamic channel allocation. Here dynamic means the particular frequency band or portion of that frequency band are not permanently allowed to any user. It may be allowed to sometimes and again it assigned to the new user. So the channel allocation or frequency, we can say that frequency band to the particular user are not permanent allocate. So that is called as a dynamic. So it is channel or frequency bands will be temporary allocation of channel. We can say that is called as a dynamic channel. So there are some assumptions which is to be made. So what are the assumptions to be made for dynamic channel allocation strategies? So assumptions to the dynamic channel allocation. So first one, independent of the traffic. Independent of a traffic. So what is meant by independent of the traffic? So independent of traffic, this model consists of n independent stations, example computer and telephones, each with program or user generates a frame for the transmission. The expected number of frames generated in the interval of length delta t and delta time, where lambda into delta t is the constant, and once the frame has been generated, the static station block and does not nothing alter in the frame has been successfully transmitted. So here first independent traffic means each station generate independent traffic and to send the data over a channel. So that is the concept of independent traffic. Second one, single channel. Single channel is available for all the communication. All the station can be transmit on it data, or all the station can receive from it. The station can assume to be equally capable, through though the protocols may be assigned then different roles. So single channels data can be transmit and received simultaneously on same channel. That is the concept of this single channel. Third one is nothing but observable collision. Observable collision, if two frames are transmitted simultaneously, they may be overlap in time. The resulting signal is garbled. This event is called as a collision. Now all the station can be detected that the collision has been occurred. So collide frame must be transmitted again later. No errors other than the those generated by the collision occur. So collision means when we are transmitted the frames simultaneously and they are garbled, so that the event is called as a collision. So if the collision is detected, that time we can retransmit the frames which are lost in collisions. Fourth one concept which is to be defined in channel allocation strategies in dynamic assumptions: continuous or slotted time. Continuous or slotted time. Time may be assumed is a continuous, which is case frame transmission can be begin at any instant. The alternatively, the time may be slotted or divided into discrete interval called slot. The frame transmission must be begin start of the slot. Slot may be contain 0, 1 or more frames corresponding to the ideal slot. Successfully transmission of the collision. So continuous or slotted time is assumption that tells the time may be is assumed to be continuous and it may be independent from the data, and time the frame of transmission must be begin at the start from the slot, and slot may be contain 0 frame, 1 frame or 2 frame or more than these frames. So it may be consist of ideal slot. Fifth one is carrier sense or no carrier sense. Carrier sense or no carrier sense. So carrier sense or no carrier sense is a concept with the carrier sense as assumption. Station can tell if the channel is in use before trying to use no. So no station will be attempt to use the channel while it is sensed to be busy. If there is a no carrier sense, the station cannot be sent the channel before trying to use. They just go ahead and transmit. Only later they can be determined whether the transmission was successful. So it will be, this assumption will be tells whether the carrier is available to transmit the data over a channel or it may be busy. By using this assumption, the particular user can assume the data or channel will be allocated for the transmission or it may be busy. Some discussion of this assumption. First, one says that the frame arrivals of independent both the across the station particular there is a no fixed path. So the advantages of dynamic channel allocation strategies: saving the bandwidth, excellent performance, cheap cost. These are the some advantages of dynamic channel allocation. So in this lecture mostly we deal about the channel allocation problem. So there are how to deal with the channel allocation problem by static channel allocation and dynamic channel allocation. So we can discuss about the channel allocation which is permanently to the users, that is called as a static channel. The examples: telephone line, FDM, radio station. Traffic is transmitted, the bandwidth. What is the disadvantage? The bandwidth is wasted and poor performance. Then how to solve this, to overcome these drawbacks? We use the technology to solution, that is dynamic channel allocation. Channel allocation is not permanent but it is on the temporary basis or lease basis. The assumption of the dynamic channel allocation: first, independent traffic, single channel, observable collision, and fourth is a continuous or slotted time and carrier sense and no carrier sense. And the advantages of this dynamic channel allocation: saving bandwidth, excellent performance, and cheap cost. So in this lecture we discuss about the channel allocation problem in the medium access control layer.